Continuing with example 4, Bill drove from Ajax to Bixby at an average speed of 50 miles per hour. Okay, so I'm going to use a table to help me organize my information in this problem. So Bill's rate from Ajax to Bixby was 50 miles per hour. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my table. On the way back, so Bixby to Ajax, he drove 60 miles per hour. So that's his rate on the way back. The total trip took 4 2/5 hours. Okay, well, it's going to be easier for us if we convert that 2/5 hours to a decimal, so that's going to be 4.4 hours. Okay, so what we don't know is how much of that 4.4 hours was the time getting there and how much of that 4.4 hours was the time getting back, right? So here's where we introduce our variable t. We're just going to say, and it's arbitrary, it doesn't matter which one we let be t, but we're going to say, let's let the time that it took Bill to get from Ajax to Bixby t, okay? And then his time on the way back, well, we know his total time was 4.4 hours, so that means that his time on the way back would have to be 4.4 minus t, because it would be whatever's left out of 4.4 hours. Now the distance between the two cities remains constant, right? So our distance is going to be the same for both of them. They don't tell us how far away Bixby is to Ajax, but it doesn't matter for this problem because what we're going to be looking at is making an equation where we set the distance from Ajax to Bixby equal to the distance from Bixby to Ajax. So that's going to be my equation. My distance from Ajax to Bixby is going to be equal to my distance from Bixby to Ajax. The distance is our constant in this problem. Distance, right over here, is equal to rate times time. Well, we know the rate times the time. That's going to be 50t. So distance from Ajax to Bixby is 50t. Distance from Bixby to Ajax is going to be 60 times 4.4 minus t. So that's where we just have to do a little bit of math. We're going to distribute that 60. So we get 50t equals 60 times 4.4 is 264 minus 60t. And now we just have to solve this. This is a very basic algebraic equation. I'm going to add 60t to both sides. So then I get 110t is equal to 264. I divide both sides by 110, and I get t equal to 2.4 hours. Now be careful. That doesn't answer the question because our job was to find the distance between the two cities, right? But now that we know the time, we can figure out the distance because distance is equal to rate times time. So we can come back up here, and now we can say, well, our distance is going to be equal to our rate. And again, you can use either one. I'll use the 50 times t because that one's easier. So 50 times, but now I know my t. 2.4, right? So that tells me that my distance is going to be equal to 120 miles. Now you certainly could have used the 60 times 4.4 minus 2.4, but using that equation is just more work. So here's the answer to our problem. We found out the distance from Ajax to Bixby is 120 miles.